Good evening, pepper lovers, and welcome back to another episode of Growing with Isotope. It's 2024. I've made some decisions about my seed selection and I'm ready to start planting my seeds. But before I start planting them, I'd like to just go through what my plans for the season are, things I've got going on, that kind of stuff. So, first of all, what I want to talk about is my variegated sugar rush peach stripey, currently at F3. By the end of the year, I want to get that to F5 or M5. Pretty optimistic about that. I've got some seeds started right now. Should be maturing around June, July, and then I can have another cycle for the end of the year. That should provide me with M5 or F5 seeds, and it'll be almost stable by that point. And I think next year we'll have fully stabilized it. So really excited about that. On that same subject, I've got a couple of crosses that I took last year with the variegated sugar rush stripey as the father. So I've got my Ahi Guyana cross black Bikino F1. I crossed that with the variegated sugar rush peach stripey, so that could be an interesting one. I've got the Pimenta Barra de Ribeiro cross with the variegated sugar rush stripey. So the Pimenta Barra de Ribeiro is a lovely tasting pepper. Very excited about that one. It's going to be delicious, I can tell. I crossed the Ahi Guyana with the variegated sugar rush stripey as well, so that I will be growing that immediately. Very much looking forward to seeing what that looks like. What I want to do is I want to cross basically everything that I'm growing with the variegated sugar rush stripey, and just get as many F1 seeds as I can. Obviously I won't be able to grow them all, but I'll be able to grow a large chunk of them next year. So yeah, that's my plans to do with the variegated sugar rush stripey. Now I've got a few crosses that I worked on last year that I haven't forgotten about. I've just had to kind of delay them a little bit. I won't be starting them immediately. I'll be starting them in a few months' time to grow indoors over the summer. So this would be things like the Vitali crosses. So the Vitali Crostals Thunderbolt, which I didn't grow last year. Many of you won't be familiar with that one. I did grow the F1 the year before last in winter. I've got F2 seeds for that, so I'll be putting them down in about late March, early April for an indoor grow, so that's exciting. Vitali Cross Batman Bubblegum 7 Orange, or the Fat Man Bubblegum 7 as we've all started calling it. I'm going to be growing that one indoors as well. The Tiger Jalapeno Mutant, I won't be growing that immediately to start, but I'll be growing it indoors in my tent. There's going to be a few other crosses as well from various people. So Wambus has kindly sent me over variegated Ahi Cochabamba seeds, which I'll be growing indoors in the tent. Hopefully I'll be able to get a good variegated plant out of that and send him some seeds back. So in terms of my other vegetables and herbs, I'm growing 4 types of tomato. I can't think of them right now. Blue Stick, Pink Jazz, and there's a couple of others as well. Today at the garden centre I picked up some thyme and some variegated sage. I bought some new pots to put those in as well. In terms of other things, I'm going to be growing variegated nasturtiums. I think they're very pretty. Plenty of flowers going to be going down as well. Some strawberries, parsnips again, carrots I'm going to try again. Hopefully I'll get some carrots this year. That brings me on to my next topic. So sort of the grow spaces that I've got. Obviously I've got indoors, I've got my tent, I've got my windowsill in this office, and all of our windows are being redone. So all the windows in the house are being replaced, which means much more light will be getting in, which should hopefully improve the well-being of the plants and me. I've got my new office windowsill. So that was the building that was constructed on our property the year before last. I think I can use that window space for growing plants if I need to. Back garden, we're going to be making a small change to the back garden. We're going to be removing the gravel and we're going to be having a big garden bed on the gravel. So that's on the left hand side of the garden if you're looking out towards the gate. So there's going to be plenty of space for peppers, potatoes, all that kind of stuff. It's going to be going down. I'm going to be building a tomato planter, so putting that near the house. So that's where my 4 tomato plants will go. I'm going to give them plenty of root space, so they'll grow huge. It's definitely going to be a lot of work to get everything done. I think I've selected 69 pepper varieties, and that's not even including all of the other veg as well. But you know what? I'm feeling good about it. We've got the front garden. We've now got a bed in the front garden that we planted potatoes in last year, so all that soil's nice and disturbed. I grew mustard in it and I've kind of chopped that back now and raked it in, so the soil should be conditioned nicely. And of course, as of last year, we've got the allotment space now, so the allotment is going to be filled with peppers, unfortunately. There should be space for about 12 to 15 pepper plants in the allotment bed that we've got, plus maybe a couple more in the allotment polytunnel when that gets put up. And also in the front garden, I'm going to have on the left hand side there's like a patio, but it's a bit uneven. I'm going to try and even out the patio. At the same time, there's like an invasive species of onion that's growing there, so I'm going to try and get rid of that. Even out the patio, and then that's where I'm going to grow my wild peppers, so it's quite a shaded area, so they should like it there. The wild peppers I started the wild peppers I'm going to start in this video, but I've actually already started and they've already started to sprout, so that's going to be a bit strange. Appreciate your patience. Now I'm going to go start the seeds. I can't wait. I've got an absolute treat for you today, and no, I don't mean some Danish style butter cookies. Today's a day where I show off the seed selection that I've decided to grow this year. So without further ado, let me get the seeds out. So first off, Pimenta Verde Ribeiro. Now this is one that I grew last year and I really love this one. Lovely fruity sort of tropical fruit flavour. It's so sweet. It's got weird kind of aniseedy aftertaste. Absolutely loved it. Didn't get a video done for that one, but I will rectify that this year. This is the Tiamat F3. I got the seeds from Jez. It's the Kangstar White Thai pheno. So the backstory behind this is that it's a Kangstar White Thai crossed with an unknown super hot. This one produced a phenotype which is quite like the Kangstar White Thai, so I'm very interested to see that one. Beer Coffee, again, one of the ones from last year that I really liked. I feel like this would be very good either smoked or turned into powder, or maybe both, so definitely keeping this one around. Tiberius Mola Caramel. Really enjoyed seeing Capsaicin almost die from eating this pod, so I've decided to subject myself to the same torture. I'm going to be growing it, and obviously I'm going to try it if I grow it, so that video will be coming up. This one's the Belize bonnet from Kansas Gardener. Very cool. It's kind of like a wild Scotch bonnet that he found. So it's Ahi Trinity F2. Ahi Trinity is my own cross between the Ahi Guyana and the Brazilian Starfish Yellow Cross Sugar Rush Peach F3. This is going to be the F2. Very excited to grow that out and see what kind of shapes and flavours come out of that. And colours, of course. Now, Orange Scorpion from Mojo. I normally wouldn't grow something like an Orange Scorpion just because they're quite, don't want to be rude, but they're quite basic. You know, it's kind of like an entry-level pepper. But after seeing the absolute beauty that is Mojo's plant, it's really inspired me to grow this one, so I can't wait to grow that one. Again, another one of Mojo's absolutely beautiful plants. And Mojo sent me seeds from her best pod, which is lovely. That was Orion, by the way. And again, grown by Mojo, the Kangstar Lemon Starburst. She had an amazing pheno. I've been plagued by issues when I've tried to grow Kangstar Lemon Starburst in the past. Can't remember whether I tried to grow it last year, but every single year that I've tried has failed. So I really hope that this year will be a bit different. This is the Ahi Guyana crossed with the Black Bikino, crossed with the Variegated Sugar Stripey F1. Oh my god, so many crosses this year. But yeah, I made this one, so I'm hoping that it comes out nicely. I'm hoping that one of those dead looking seeds germinates for me, so I can have a nice plant outdoors. The Black Bikino crossed with the Ahi Guyana crossed with Ahi Trinity F1. So the Guyana crossed with the Black Bikino, one of the plants I grew last year, towards the end of last year in the tent. It was self-sterile, so I had to use pollen from other plants. This was just one of the crosses that I did in order to get it to set fruit. Now, Brown Rocopica from Jumali Peppers. Now, Jumali Peppers doesn't have the best reputation, but I figured these seeds look at least true to type, so I'll try and grow it. Scorpion Douglas from Kansas Gardener again. His hottest pod last year, apparently. Why am I doing this to myself? I'm going to come to this in 6 months' time and I'm going to absolutely be dying on the floor because I've decided to grow things that I can't eat. Submarine, sent to me by the lovely Pepper Droid. Thank you very much, mate. Very interested in growing this because there's clusters of pods and the pods are quite small. There's a lot of pods on each cluster. Might be good for crossing potential, or if it tastes nice, then that'll be a bonus too. So the Ahi Charapita cross with Thor's Thunderbolt from Wambus. This is one of the community grow outs in the PLC Discord right now. Exciting stuff, lots of potential in that cross. Volante Peach, now this is one I actually found via Google, and I think Tess hooked me up with the seeds, so thank you very much, Tess. Very cool, love you. Now the Ghost Dropping Pepper from Boss. Now this is a cross between a Bucciolochia and a Lemon Drop. Totally heatless apparently, but very sweet, so definitely a welcome one for the garden. Zabronje, you know, everyone's grown Zabronje or Zabronje. Gochujang King F1, so I'm going to be trying to make some kimchi at some point this week, so this would be a very good pepper for that. Sweet Moruga, Trinidad Scorpion, but sweet I believe, so that'll be an interesting one. Tiger Jalapeno Mutant F3, so you might have seen last year that I was growing a Tiger Jalapeno which turned out to be a mutant. This is just the next filial generation from that. Very excited to be growing it. And Aleppo crossed with Thundermat and Longhorn. So the backstory behind this is Tintin's Peppers was growing Aleppo and he was growing Thundermat and Longhorn sort of nearby. The two crossed, and Spicy Llama had the F1 plant growing in his garden, so this is the F2. And of course, Brazilian Starfish Yellow crossed with Sugar Rush Peach F4. I grew the F3 last year, absolutely loved it. It was a great video too, you should go check that out. Vitali cross Hallow's Eve F2, because I'm not punished enough already. That was the hottest pod I've ever eaten. I'm sure that record will be broken at some point this year. Primo Lucifer XL. Now these pods are huge and they look scary. Tangerine Tiger F5 from Fish Pepper. Vitali crossed with Thor's Thunderbolt F2. So yeah, I grew the F1 year before last. And Jay's X Pink X Reaper Lemon. Very cool looking pods, amazing looking pods. Love that. Tiger Fang F2, so you might have seen the video on Tiger Fang F1 last year. Lovely fruity flavour, definitely growing it again this year. And the Variegata crossed with Sugar Rush Peach crossed with Poblano Gold Fino. Very cool. I think that's one of the more popular peppers at the moment, so I can't wait to grow that. Ahi Santa Cruz crossed with Purple Flowered Baccatum from Harry. Thank you, Harry, for sending those over. White Vitali. Didn't get a good plant last year, even though it is one of my favourite varieties. I didn't get a good producing plant last year, so I'm going to try and bring them back this year. Matapino F6. Now, no pepper grow would be complete without the Matapino, would it? And the Vitali crossed with Leopard Reaper F2. Obviously, we're going to grow that out. The Fatman Orange, as we're calling it now, the Vitali crossed with the Batman Bubblegum 7 Orange F2, sent to me by Mystery on PLC Discord. Dark Lemon Starburst from Jez, Kangstar Lemon Starburst crossed with Bubblegum Mamp Black F4. I've heard good things about this cross. And the Kansas Gator Jigsaw Chocolate. Kansas Gardener grew a Gator Jigsaw and it came out chocolate. So this is seeds from that. And again, Primo crossed with Lemon Drop. Capsicum Chinense crossed with Capsicum Baccatum Pepper. And the Heatless 7-pot Primo from Pepper Ranger. Seeds kindly sent over by Tess. So Purple Naga Variegated. I think this is just a Capsicum Anya, which is variegated and the pods taste kind of good. And they used an Indian style cooking, so can't wait for that. The Numex Lola Lutein. So apparently this has got good levels of vitamins in it, which is never a bad thing. Mini Olive Ricotto. Again, we're going to try another Ricotto this year. I tried a Ricotto last year. I tried the Manzano Orange. Did not get on with that pod at all. It was a horrific throat burn. I felt like it was way hotter than the 30k advertised, but I will actually review this one. The Megatron Jalapeno sent to me by Pepperton on the Pepper Lovers Discord. Very big jalapenos. Again, Jace Pink Cross Reaper Lemon. These seeds are like smashed into oblivion by our postman. He like must have stood on it, run it over, sat on it, and then just crumpled it through the letterbox by the look of it. There's maybe 2 or 3 good seeds in this, but I've got 2 sources for this cross, so I'm going to grow it. And Coyote Zan White, so I'm going to reattempt to grow it this year, courtesy of It's Chilly Outside. So thank you very much for that, all the way from Australia. Yellow Cyril. So Yellow Cyril is a cross between Capsicum Chinense and Capsicum Baccatum. Chiltepin crossed the Lemon Drop. Again, everyone's growing it, it's a classic. The Antep Ahi Dolma crossed with an unknown pepper from Chris Fowler. The Variegated Ahi Cochabamba from Wambus. I believe it is the Pimenta Barra de Ribeira crossed with the Variegated Sugar Rush Stripey. and the Bubblegum 7 Orange Purple Flower from Kansas Gardener. Now the Super Boot, I was so impressed when I saw pictures of this plant from Bricklayer on the PLC Discord. The plants are absolutely loaded. Now the Bok crossed with the Ahi Pineapple, so I believe the Bok is the Boot Orange Copenhagen, possibly, crossed with an Ahi Pineapple. Again, it's one of those Bactum Chinense crosses that really excite me. Rhino, it's been one of my favourite peppers for a while. I just love the shape. The Blood Ghost, again, these are really cool looking pods, and they actually taste pretty good too from what I've heard. So the Orange Ghostly Jalapeno, I'm bringing it back. The Ahi Guyana crossed with the Variegated Sugarish Peach Stripey F1. And last but not least, the Hot Banana crossed with the Ghost F2. So that was the subject of the most recent pepper tasting video on my YouTube channel. Go check it out if you haven't watched it. It's an amazing tasting pod and full of potential. I will be starting seeds on the 22nd of January and I cannot wait. This is going to be my biggest season yet. I've got different spaces that I can grow these peppers in. We're going to be renovating the back garden. It's going to be amazing. So stay tuned, I'm going to be doing regular updates. Hey guys, so it's December 31st, 2023 and I'm going to be starting my wild varieties that I've collected over the past couple of years. These are varieties that take slightly longer to germinate. Some of them can take up to about 90 days, so it's a good job we're getting these started early for the season. These will be going in the front garden, so they'll have probably a bit less sunlight than the chilies in the back garden, but I'm told that they'll be okay with that, especially with a slightly longer season. So first up I've got Cap 1445, which is a cultivar of Capsicum chequens. Got Texas Rice, which I believe is Capsicum annuum var glabrosculum. The famous Eschborch Nasi, probably butchered that pronunciation, but it's a cross from Chris Fowler between Capsicum Eschbaugi and Capsicum Cardinasi, and that's actually F2 not F1. Capsicum lanceolatum, the seeds for this were originally sent to me by Chili Crosser, but I had a plant and I got some good seeds out of it. Capsicum rhomboideum, again from Chili Crosser, from pods sent by Chili Crosser. Capsicum schotianum, the red flower variant from Chris Fowler. Now this one's cool, CGN 19198. I believe each pedicel has multiple flowers on it attached to it. It's probably not the best way of describing that, but it's a very cool looking plant. Cap 215 microcarpum, this is a wild form of Bactum, again from Chris Fowler. This one isn't really a wild, but it's a wild cross. It's the Ricotta Giant cross with Cap 1491, which is an interspecific cross between Capsicum pubescens and Capsicum eximium, which is very cool. Hopefully it germinates. And last but not least, Capsicum tavari. Pretty cool. So yeah, I'm going to be germinating them in rock wool, which is sterile environment. I'm going to be using some dilute hydrogen peroxide to stop algae from growing. Put them in a heated propagator for however long it takes. I'm expecting some of them to take quite a while, so I might put quite a few seeds in. And yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm going to start by hydrating my rock wool. Probably going to need to grab some more liquid. Definitely going to need to start by grabbing some more liquid. I'll be right back. I've got some more hydrogen peroxide and tap water. Just going to fill that up until we got some good absorption from the rock wool cubes. And there's a little bit left in the bottom. Might be slightly too much in there, but we'll pour some out. Yeah, let's get going. My little plant labels as well, these are cool. Gonna make a little hole. About 5, 6 seeds. Might be a bit too many. I'll plonk about 4 in. So that's all done now. As you can see, I've folded the rock wool over on the top a little bit. That is simply to prevent the seeds getting helmet head when they come through the rock wool. I imagine it might still happen quite a bit because it's just rock wool. Rock wool isn't very tough, but hopefully that reduces the number of seedlings that come through the rock wool with their seeds still attached. Anyway, I'll leave that for a week or two and I'll update this video when things start to germinate. Yeah, this is the heated propagator that my brother got me for Christmas. Pretty long, I think it's 80 centimeters, and the internal temperature reaches about 27 degrees. So you can see both sets of seeds that I started today are in there. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to seeing updates on these. Hey guys, so what I've got here is 1 4/5 of a grow tray. I had to kind of snip this one up because it wouldn't fit my propagator otherwise. I've got soil. Now, my first tip this year is microwave your soil, because I went out to the garden and I saw the bag of compost and I scooped some out, put it in my bucket, I was ready to use it, and then I thought, hold on a minute, I can probably prevent fungus gnats. So what I did was I put it into little tubs and I microwaved it. I'd say about 3-4 minutes per tub. It was like proper steaming hot. And what I noticed when I'd finished microwaving it is on the surface of the soil there were loads of little worms. Now those little worms were fungus gnat larvae. And I had essentially fried them before they even had a chance to turn into flies. I would definitely recommend doing this. And it's not just going to stop fungus gnat larvae as well, it's going to stop aphid eggs, it's going to stop thrip eggs, because those two kind of plant predators, they lay eggs in the soil. They can be really annoying, and you don't want to be dealing with pests in your early season like I did last year. So that's my first tips to you. My second tip is buy some hydrogen peroxide. So this is quite dilute hydrogen peroxide solution. I'm going to be hydrating the soil with that before I plant into it. But yeah, let's get into it. I've got my plant labels already drawn out. I will think about an order while I'm planting things so that the kind of early sprouting stuff starts over this side, later stuff over this side, so it kind of comes up in a pattern. That'll be satisfying as hell. And yeah, we've got everything written out. All the different labels and the seed packs. So yeah, I'll be starting them now. First of all, I'm just going to hydrate the dirt with my hydrogen peroxide water. It might fizz a little bit. This stuff's very dry because after I microwaved it, I just kind of let it sit under the fan. Not for any particular reason, but I wanted to kind of dry out the soil before I properly rehydrated it with hydrogen peroxide water. Now this has got quite a high ratio of perlite in it, simply because I had issues last year of it retaining too much moisture, and I've learned from my mistakes. It's going to take a while to rehydrate. It's very hydrophobic right now. Okay guys, so I've moistened all that soil now, it's all nice and wet, and I've removed some of the soil from around the edge of the tray. So it's ready to plant into now. So what I've done is I've divided my labels up into annuums, so all the annuums I'm growing. These are my bacterms and any crosses which involve bacterms, and I think I've got one frutescens. So those should be germinating medium fast, probably the same speed as the annuums really. For all intents and purposes they basically germinate the same, but my chinenzas, which the stack of chinenzas is actually much larger than it was last year, which is good, because I was definitely missing out on some of the hotter peppers last year. So yeah, I've got all my chinenzas, which is probably about twice the amount of bacterms that I'm growing this year. That's not a chinense, but there are some pubescens in here. as well, because they take quite a while to germinate in my experience anyway. So I've got all of that done, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to label them all up and then I'm going to plant the seeds, and then I'll probably pop them on a heat mat, and then in about a week I should have a few sprouts emerging. So I'm very much looking forward to that, and I will see you then.